Good evening, good evening. What a blessed day it is. It's that time. It's time to check your pulse with the Mpulse Summit, September 10th through the 12th, 2022, Columbia, South Carolina. Tonight is a very special night. We have one of our honorary elite educators joining us this evening. So sit back, relax, and check your pulse. Let's welcome our host, Miss Micheline Barber.
Good evening, everyone. And it is Thursday. That's right. Not any type of Thursday, but it is a throwback, throw forward Thursday. That's right. We are bringing you some impactful elite educators this evening from all over. And let me tell you, I want y'all to please put your seatbelt on. I need you to tag a couple of people because these individuals have been at Mpulse Summit. They actually are coming back again this year, and they're going to bring even more impact. Now, a lot of people are asking, when is Mpulse or what is Mpulse? Mpulse Summit is in September the 10th through the 12th in Columbia, South Carolina. And it is an experience, one that you cannot go without coming, trying, knowing, and growing. So as the faith grows in, it is definitely a faith-based summit. It is one that you cannot afford to miss whatsoever. And you really cannot afford to miss these elite educators because this first one is an honorary elite educator. When I tell you his energy just comes through the screen, and his energy is one that I'm telling you I can go with every day. Like he can wake up and be like, baby, baby. But I know a lot of you all have seen him before, heard him before, and you have came across his spirit, which is everlasting. I want y'all to please welcome to the seat of Mpulse Summit, none other than my friend, one of my mentors and one of my faith writers, none other than Mr. Joe Edwards.
What's happening, y'all? What it is. Big baby, we in the building, right?
Listen, so I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if y'all don't know, put your shades on because we're not responsible for blindness tonight. All right, I had to go get my shades because you was not gonna be the only cool cat in the building. All right. So every time I see you, Joe, I'm gonna tell you, and you are an honorary elite educator, I have to definitely know that every time you come, you bring something to the table even more. And I know we're going to talk about that even more, but your spirit exudes like, a little, something happened today, a couple of minutes before I drove home, but you just picked it back up and made me be like, you know what? Woosah, it's okay. And every time you seem to do it at the right time. I don't know what it is, that connection. Maybe it's the Dudley connection because we got some more Dudley people on here as well. Yeah. But maybe it's that Dudley connection that just keep us going. So again, y'all see me with my shades on only because, Joe is in the building. And when I say we got some stars in here, lights, camera, action. So I think y'all better put y'all shades on for the other individual that we're going to be bringing on this stage. But Joe, tell a little bit about who you are. And again, you're joining us at Mpulse Summit again this year, not as an educator, but I just want to talk about your unselfishness of coming back with us. So just tell who you are, Joe.
I am Joe Edwards, a kid from Detroit, Michigan, man, that just happens to love the industry, a Dudley rep. We always tell the story. I got beat by my big sister in the Steve Harvey Neighborhood Awards 2 years in a row, but it just involved the love, and this Mpulse Summit thing was just a big vision. Me and Mitch go way back to different venues, and we knew we came from the same area with Dudley's, but we just kept bumping into each other. And she hit me up one day, was like, hey, I'm about to do something. And so it was this, and she birthed the Mpulse Summit. And it's just been an amazing ride ever since. There's so many great stories. There's not a bad thing I can say about anything. Frenchie, I said I was going to tell it. The boss behind the scenes that don't play no games. You make sure you're on time where you're supposed to be, because sometimes us as artists feel like we're on a celebrity status, and that brings us down and say, listen, if you're going to teach, you're going to teach. And so it's just a lot of great things. But Mitch, I just have to say to you again, this is the 5th year for me. And the lineup this year is just even more amazing. It keeps growing. I just got to say this about last year, though. That dang on Jerome DeMonte and that hair show. Let me tell you, I have not done a hair show in over 12 years. Okay. And I was like, man, I want to get on the stage again. You know, the presentations, the education. Pastor Jones is in the building. Lee Oliver, Corey Paul, Mike Pringle. There's just so many people that what I love about this whole thing is simply this. You have a lot of elite educators continuing to be educated. The Bible says simply this: iron sharpens iron. Okay. So even when you feel that you're the greatest in your city, you're not going to be the greatest in somebody else's city.
No.
Okay. But you can grow with somebody else's city. Don't meet us there. Beat everybody there.
Exactly.
Mpulse Summit is where you want to be September 10th through the 12th, 2022, y'all. Breathing is this. When women birth babies, let's get biblical for a minute. When women birth babies, it's a lot of breathing and pushing. The last 5 years, even in the pandemic, you and your vision created a way for us to breathe and push and participate online. When women produce or push babies or a birth of a vision, it takes a lot of pain sometimes, the pandemic. It takes a lot of breathing and pushing. So with all of those things being said, I am way more than honored. I am way more than humbled to just be a part of it. You know what I mean? And one of the things I say, you can't get rid of me now.
That's it.
With me. When I say excited and screaming, I don't talk about too much. It don't excite me. But in Summit, listen, I just need to clap it up for you. You deserve information, your support team. Frenchie's in the building, big baby. And to see a vision come to fruition and watch it continue to grow, it's like you have a baby, then the baby starts to crawl, the baby starts to walk, then the baby starts to run, and the baby starts to, all of us who are parents. And so God has just blessed me and graced me to be a part of something that's very miraculous. And I say that from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate you so much. From the
bottom of my heart, this is like the greatest thing to me. And I get excited. I look forward to it all the time.
So we definitely got to bring up some more ladies with you, because I'm telling you, you are the man of the hour, but we got some power women, that's out here too. And we got one young lady that actually went to school with me at Dudley, like you did as well. All and right. I'm gonna tell you, she's taking the scene by storm. Like, she's killing the waves of making sure that texture versus race go together. So y'all, please welcome to the seat. Put your seat, but none other than my friend, one of my mentors, Miss Kia Artistic Neal.
Hey, friend. Hey. Hello, everyone. How are you tonight?
Good. So I know with Kia, we're going to bring up some more ladies, but Kia, we're definitely saying pushing towards your path. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, because that's definitely something that you've done, continue to do. Like every week, it's always something new that you're going through, elevation of just taking over. So we're so excited. And we definitely got to bring these other ladies on, because Joe and myself and you came from Dudley. And we came from our foundation of future professionals. And these two young ladies have done an impeccable job with educating our future professionals, in which that's where it's at now. Because a lot of the educators now, or the people that's out there, they're not going to classes as much as they need to, but we can get our hands on these future professionals to mold them in the right direction. Because where we came from, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We came from the school of hard knocks. Okay. So definitely with you being the founder of Texas versus Race, we definitely want to talk about that, because that is important, because you'll be bringing that to Mpulse Summit. So y'all put y'all seatbelts on, because this next young lady I'm about to bring to there, because I just watched her tutorial where she did these finger waves, y'all. And when I tell you these finger waves killed, it made me want to blow my hair out and get it waved, because I'm telling you, she killed that. None other than Miss Tuwetti Simmons. And then while she's coming, we also have Miss Enola Pillard. So we definitely have to join both of these ladies together, because we get ready to get down into some questions about Mpulse Summit, questions about you all and what you all will be bringing to the table, the tables that you are building, matter of fact. So we're going to bring Enola up as well, too. So while Miss Enola is coming up, Kia, we talked about tables and building tables. So you know how you say bring to the table, but you actually built your own table and you're now inviting people to that table, right? So how does that feel? Because now people need to understand about education and about breathing and about texture versus race. What is this? What is that movement about? What is that?
So, first of all, thank you for having me on and, just for inviting me to be a part of your birthing party. Okay. Being a part of this amazing summit is truly an honor. And I can't wait to get there because it's all that I've been watching you. I was there in the beginning when this thing was, inside your belly and coming out. So I feel it's very personal uh,
Yes.
to me to be here. But texture versus race is a movement, and not to get too deep because I want to be able to speak to everyone. But I want to just point out that texture versus race really speaks to the future. And when we talk about the future professionals, it's more of a mindset change for the people that have been groomed in the industry and this next that are coming up in the industry like ourselves. We are changing. We're doing more changing than we've ever seen in our lives. And around the world of texture and diversity, we are the most seen and the most, what I want to say, spotlighted that we've ever been. Blackness is being, now it's the most visible that it's
Yes.
ever been before. And so it's just a new day and a new time. And I'm hoping that people can see where we are as a community, where we are as an industry, and see how we can collectively all put ourselves forward to see this industry be exactly what we need, which is diverse and inclusive for everyone, right? But really empowering the Black community as well.
Right.
First and foremost, bringing wealth to the community. And one thing that you did point out that I will share is that the idea about tables, I think it's been one of those things people talk about a lot, like having seats at the table and wanting to, should we have seats at the table? Should we not? Should we build? And I think that's the point. The point is to get at tables, understand the tables, and then build your own tables that serve your specific passions and purpose. And so I think that's what God has allowed me to do with texture versus race, is use what I have been exposed to at Dudley, using that to build my business in the industry, and then using my experiences throughout my journey to just simply be in place and be, quite frankly, just aligned for such a time as this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about it all. It's a whole lot to dive into, but I want to make sure that we hear from everybody else as well, because I know you got a lot more questions.
Yeah, and I'm super proud of you. Super, super proud. So, Miss Tuwetti, I watched you just a couple of weeks just like kill some things. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person that's attention to detail. I'm about that. I'm all about that. Need to be matching that, need to be, and you did that. And not only did you do that a couple of weeks ago, but you did it last year with your future professionals. I was so impressed with you having about 8 or 9 mannequins of all texture. Like that was dope, because most people about like 2 mannequins call it. They know you showed how the hair reacts on different textures, from braids to straight hair to curly hair to long hair, color. You did that. What made you prepare yourself? Because a lot of times people are not preparing themselves for success. What is it that you could have easily said, I'm just educating future profession. They don't know. What made you say, no, I'm going to put my all in all in this? And because you was once there at one time, and you really dug in and you really did research on how to really, because I was sitting there like blowed at your presentation. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was just phenomenal. You and Enola. And so what made you say, I'm just not going to just put anything out there, but I'm going to put everything into this?
Well, for one, you always think about the person who has kind of given you a chance to, present yourself. And not only do I carry myself, but I carry you on that, because Micheline Barber gave me a chance to stand in front of her, her baby, and try to teach others what I know. So I didn't want to come half stepping. Also, one of the things I, realized when I first came out of the industry, like Kia talks about just now, having, equal grounds. When I came out of hair school, I didn't always have the education to know how to do all hair types. Throughout my career, I started to learn that based on different places I worked. So I wanted to bring that to, the individuals at Mpulse Summit, because a lot of times we get only demographically able to do certain hair types based on the city that we normally come, start at. If we start in Atlanta compared to New York is going to be different from Mississippi. So I wanted people to see not just, African American hair, but, Caucasian hair. I wanted them to see, maybe Hispanic hair, different hair types. So no matter what comes in front of them, whatever sits in their chair, they can tackle it and not be afraid.
Right. I like that. And so that's why I really thought that your presentation was bomb, because I don't even know where you get half of those mannequins from. I'm like, where did she get that mannequin? I only know about the straight one I cut, but you had like textured ones all over. That was just dope. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Enola, so you and Tuwedi had a class together, and both of you all put the passion behind it. You both were, really instrumental in changing the future professional. No doubt, don't call them students, they're future professionals. And we got to look at that, because we all were one at one time, and we know how hard that was. I know we came from, like I said, the school of hard knocks, where we really had to dig down deep into getting it, because we'd be all over the place. When you're young, be all over the place. So your presentation with them, and then I seen you pull them outside of the classroom, which was super dope to me. What was that conversation about, and how did you take it from the stage to outside to really pour into them even more?
I think by us joining together and tag team, we gave them so much to think about. They just needed more, and they were vulnerable. They was open. They had so many questions, and we couldn't just leave them there. And still to this day, some of them still contact me and let me know, update me on their progress. And so it's just so exciting, and I can't wait till this year, because it stir up their creativity, it bring their confidence level up, and let them allow them to see the greatness that's within them. So yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait till this year.
Good. So Joe, as you listen to these ladies, because you definitely have watched every single one of these ladies do their thing. And when I talk about unselfishness, because I had a really good conversation this morning with JB, and talk about servitude and being a great servant and understanding what that means. So you're like, Mitch, I don't want to come and educate this year. I want to come take classes and support you. And most people would be like, man, listen, if I'm not doing nothing, I'm not coming. If it ain't nothing in it for me, I ain't doing it. But yet you called me and was like, no, Mitch, I want to set aside, but I'm coming back 2023. I want to set aside to come and support and be a great servant. How is that? Because a lot of people don't understand that word of servitude, and understanding that it's things that you just don't look to get out of it, but what you gain from it is so powerful.
I've gained so much from Mpulse Summit from the very beginning. And I'm just one of those people, or a stylist, that I don't want to see me if I don't have nothing new to bring. How many times we going to listen to the Crazy in Love song till you get tired of it? And so there's so much talent and so much where we can come together, talk and network, and say, you know what? Well, I was cutting this way, but let me add this to it. Let me add some more texture to it. Let me do a silk wrap this way. Let's bring creativity to it. And then we get a chance to bring it back home, and we still making money. How can you hog a stage and you still doing the same thing? I would do something for a few years, and okay, now I'm tired of seeing it. But there's talent, there's education, there's new ways of doing stuff that these young people are doing. The future educators have a different grasp or a different view of it. Why not support them the way that you want to be supported?
Right.
And so for me, I'm in there. And when I say in classes with pens and papers and everything, I'm there, because it's so important to see faces. Yes, we've been some places. We've seen a lot of things. We've gained a lot of knowledge and shared a lot of knowledge as well. But these same future educators need the same support to continue to grow. And even if you pull them to the side and say, I really like what you were saying, give me a little bit more input on it, or help them sharpen what platform artistry or education can be. But then also letting them be who they are and continue to gain and let them grow. And then they build confidence to teach again another year, another day. We all needed that.
Yeah.
It's not about critiquing. It's about learning and understanding the perspective that they're coming from to help you add to your chair. That's what unselfishness is to me. And again, you have given your whole life for this moment right here, this year. Everything that you've done, we didn't came from Dudley's, we didn't grew, we've done classes. But your whole life now is up on September 10th through the 12th, 2022. The vision of it. but you're giving opportunities. So I just say this to the future educators: don't take it lightly. Whether you have one person in your class or 300 people in your class, this platform, and I've been on many, Mazzani, L'Oreal, Clairol, all of those, but you cannot take it lightly. Future educators, this is a step of importance. This is a step of importance to where you need to work tirelessly until that day and have your stuff together. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, it's pressure. It's a lot of pressure because people looking at you. They don't care when you got out of school. They don't care that you're a future professional. You're a professional that day. So whatever you're teaching, you teach it to the best of your ability. And even if you fumble, you pick the ball back up. I fumbled a bunch of times. Okay. Yeah. But God is an amazing person that it's not about how much you fumble. It's about how much you keep picking the ball. And so that's what I can share. And I get excited. Education is important because we have a lot of YouTube universities out there.
You ain't the look. I know Kill like let me in on that one because we talk about that, and you said a couple of things. We came from a situation where we all on here has fumbled something. We all have dropped the ball. But one thing I can say is that I've seen all of us pick each other up or pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and kept it moving. So, Kia, with you, with the movement that you're doing, and then coming back to Mpulse Summit this year even more, why come back? Why Mpulse Summit? Because I know, there's a lot of things. I seen your phone calls, I seen your emails, it could be anywhere, you could be across the country somewhere. But why come back to Columbia, South Carolina? Because we both from South Carolina. That's one thing. But why Mpulse and why now at such a time as this?
Micheline, first of all, my mission has changed since the last time I was at Mpulse. I couldn't make it for a couple of years, just, scheduling conflicts. But when I was there last, I feel like my education was different. What I was sharing was different. Back then, I was coming with color culture and I was sharing, great education, to make better color artists, working smarter, not harder, but really just creating little scientists, with a brand agnostic curriculum. And that has been amazing. And that helped change a lot of people's lives behind the chair, being able to work and do color and learn how to do it effectively on all fabrics of hair. So I've always been a champion for that. But this year, to be quite honest, my message has changed. And it's really important that I'll say this first. I'm really careful about where I plant my seeds. I'm really careful these days more about what platforms I get on and serve, because sometimes you can kind of plant your seeds someplace where people just kind of eat your seeds, or it just blows away, or it doesn't take root, or any of those things. So I'm really careful about where I plant my seeds, but I feel like this is fertile ground. I feel like for the message that I want to bring, these are the people that I want to bring it to. These are the people that I feel that have the ears for listening and the heart for understanding, and even the mind to even fathom what I'm trying to say. And I know that my message may be a little bit different, but for the Black community is so very important that I bring this message of diversity and inclusion and understanding how to handle this ever evolving diversity that we're experiencing right now. And it's important for us to understand we have to level the playing field, and that we can't sit in a certain space in our community because we're comfortable with that. The industry is changing, the world is changing, and we've got to change with it. And some of the people that I think, some people, when I speak to them or when I speak to certain crowds, there's always a group of people that feel that they don't know enough to make a concise decision, like they're afraid, because we tend to sit in things, again, because of comfort. But with more education, more knowledge, and more understanding, people can make a choice and say, hey, how can I move forward? Or how do I want to move forward? Or if I want to stay here and expand here, like, no answer is wrong. No space is wrong. Let me just say that. Everybody has a decision to make, but not everybody is well informed. And that's where I'm coming from with my message. It's just simply sharing that we have more options than we've ever had before. And for those of us that do want to step out, that want to do bigger things, that want to diversify their salons, that want to make more money, that want to see themselves in other spaces, other platforms, there are opportunities available for you, and you can do that. And I just want us to understand, how do we navigate these times, because times have definitely changed.
And when you
Change
say
is
change,
us, not changing. It's already
yes,
changed.
yes,
It's just
you know, and one of the things that
already-
we said one time that you said, Mr. Dudley said that he said us all the time, the industry didn't change, people did, right? And so we got to realize that this industry is solid, is that the people that's making it with unstable ground or unstable. So Tweet, I wrote down the word fear. And Enola, I want you all to talk about this too, because now I've come across some people who are fearful of change. They're fearful of where they are right now in their current situation. They're fearful of, hey, we got monkeypox and chickenpox and this all these different things that's coming up. That's causing people to live in a fear, in a bubble. And both of you all, are on our prayer group every morning. Y'all know how it is when it comes to, and we had a devotion about fear. What does that really mean to you, especially in this industry? Because we need to be walking by our faith now more than we do anything else. So Enola and Tuwedi, how do y'all feel about that when I say fear?
Well, I could definitely tell you, definitely whenever you're exposed to what fear is and you choose faith over fear, you will be tested on it. But what I love about Mpulse Summit is that is we all come together. You feel the energy when you walk in. You feel the connection. You feel the energy, and so many the educators make it attractive, make you want it. You want it. You know you can grab it, you can get it, and you're ready. I know even for myself as an educator, the whole year I'm still thinking about different things that happened at Mpulse Summit and what I've learned and how I was able to apply it and saw increase and saw an upgrade even on myself. So I most definitely would say you definitely gonna have to be ready that whenever you choose faith over fear, you may be tested, but you're about to be in a surrounding that's going to support that. What you feeling, what's being said, you'll feel it on the inside. And that fear got to back up. That fear got to go because you know that there's greatness that's within you.
Yes. Tuwedi, what about you?
Fear can, for me, fear, I think about two things. I think about the summit and I think about the individual. For me, if I was fearful of like how people was going to judge me, or how I look or how I talk and how I say so many times when I teach, I would never be discovered. I had to turn the camera on. I had to just say 1,000 times, but I still was going to get the message across. I still was going to get the lesson across. Take me how I am. People can consider that being whatever you want to call it, but you have to remove the fear. Do it shaky hands, do it shaky voice, do it trembling, just do it. On the flip side, just do it like Nike. On the flip side, think about Mpulse Summit. And when you come to Mpulse Summit, like Enola was saying, there's a releasing that happens that I've seen happen since the first year of coming there as a servant, helping Kendra Ward, and she was the educator the first year, and the second year, and the third year, and the fourth year. Like Jay just said, we're in the fifth year, and every year, if you don't come, I think about JB, I think about Latasha, I think about last year how much releasing happened in that last hour. It was so powerful. You shouldn't miss that releasing. Whatever you're fearful of, like said, if you can bind with people, lock arms, and they can talk about it. You can have someone to, hey, I was going through that too. It's good to talk it out. It's good to talk with someone that's in your same field that understands. Sometimes the spouse don't understand. Sometimes the friends don't understand. So you need to go next to somebody who gets it, So for me, it's just a point of, if you can get yourself to Columbia, South Carolina, get yourself in the room. You have an amazing pastor that's there too, that, we start off every morning with prayer.
Yes.
The fear will go away if you just make that first step.
So we definitely know that when we start talking about so much of the industry and how it's changing even more, we know that there's no excuses. We're not giving any excuses. So if you just want to come in and do only classes, because I don't think y'all seen this lineup. There's over 48 elite educators on here, right? And yes, Pastor Major Jones is on, but I consider him as an educator because I'm telling you, he saved so many lives and changed lives. So when you look at this, cutting, color, natural hair, business, trichology, motivation, and more, health and wealth, future professionals, like all these business classes, it's no brainer as to where and God is moving. So again, if you just want to come in for classes only, hey, we got you, $199. $199 for classes only. Like, where they do that at? For 2 days. If you just want to sit and take number classes and go on about your way and say, you know what, that's it. I just want to take that, I'm out. That's fine. And then we also have our other ones like our VIP and our general admission that is also there. But we definitely know that there's so many people who we want to thank. And, I know Kia knows about this. I know Joe, everyone knows about sponsorship. And these individuals came along, and when we talked to them about Mpulse Summit, when we told them our story and the things that, and I definitely want to thank Deidre Clay for connecting us with the AT&T sponsorship. It was so important about that because they never met me from a hill of beans, but they believed in our mission and they see our vision. And when you have somebody who believes in your vision, and like you said, God said, whatever your vision, he's going to provide a provision. And they were a provision for us in our vision. And so we're so grateful for that. So we're just going to take out the time to say thank you to AT&T.
Can I get my choice?
Hello, everyone. This is the visionary founder of Mpulse Summit in Columbia, South Carolina. I just want to take this time out to give a special thanks to one of our title sponsors, and that is AT&T. We want to thank them for not only believing in Mpulse Summit, but breathing with us even more. So we see you in September, the 10th through the 12th, for Breathe 2022.
New customers get our best deals on all smartphones.
That's right. But what if I'm already a customer?
Oh, no problem. Hey, Cam.
Same deal.
Yeah, it's kind of our thing.
Oh, it's a great deal. What if I'm new to AT&T?
Cam, can...
Oh, nice.
Hey. But what about for existing customers?
Same deal.
Is he okay?
It's not complicated. With AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on every smartphone.
So definitely, I don't know about y'all, but that was something that's very special to me because it's one thing when you have someone that says, I am going to invest in your vision and we'll be ready for even next year. So that is something to me, it gets emotional when you think about individuals that, hey, here's $20, here's $10. I don't care if you give me $5. At least you put a seed into the vision of Mpulse Summit. So I'm just grateful for that. I'm going to ask you here. Everyone remember our Saturday, right? Saturday Mpulse Summit. The beginning of where we come in and swag bags and, all the things that we give you from the t-shirts on down. So there's one thing that we always had, and that was our official mixer. And we're having that this year. But our official mixer is going to be hosted by AT&T, but it's also a mixer that our group, our Barber Zone is going to be the ones that's going to be handling that. And so that's a mixer of them introducing, them being able to see who you are. So if y'all could just tell me a little bit about the first day of Saturday, because y'all came in, the pool, the whole atmosphere. But now we at the gala, which is right down the street, which is a Afro-American owned, amazing building that we're going to be having that particular event in. So tell me a little bit about Saturday, y'all. So I can see, because sometimes it's a blur to me. If y'all could tell me some notes about what y'all learned on Saturday.
Saturday is always the introduction, like where everybody gets to meet the educators. That's the funnest part. Like to me, everybody comes in, everybody networks, everybody mingles, and they get a chance to introduce themselves, the classes they'll be taking and teaching. And then, we get to eat the good food. You can't forget about 360 Eats. It took care of us the last couple of years. The food is always amazing. So to me, it's the meet and greet, and then you go into, of course, some people, this year you said it's going to be gala style, so it's all white with a touch of blue this year.
That's
So
it.
like last year. So to me, it's like a mixture introduction.
Right. Love it. Joe, Kia, because I know Kia, you may I know you didn't forget about it, but I know because we got you on the video the first year, especially when you was by the pool area. So now we're excited to get, yes, we're doing it. So we definitely, I know it was Kina for real. That's gonna be there too for the first initial kicker of the mixer on Saturday. So how excited are you about being there on Saturday?
Well, first of all, let me just say I know I will be excited if I'm there on Saturday. Now,
Right.
I will share. There may be some amazing opportunities. You know how this goes with me, and so Saturday I may not be there. However, that does not mean I won't be there in spirit. That does not mean that
Right.
I'm going to do my very best to get there as soon as possible. And if I can make that Saturday, then great, but I will definitely be there for all the other activities. So I don't want to promise I'm going to be there when I know I
Right.
got some things still kind of on the line brewing. But I remember Saturday the last year, and I was blown away. Not last year, a couple years ago, I was blown away by the pool party and all the wonderful things. And you know how to throw a party. You always did. You were the first person to throw a pool party at Dudley. Like, we all wanted to come to your
Don't tell
apartment.
it.
So I'm not going to tell it. So when it comes to parties, all bets are off when it comes to Micheline.
Y'all know I know how to throw a party.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm almost annoyed that I'm not going to be there. I'm disappointed, but I know that you all are going to have an amazing time because
I'm proud of you about what you're gonna be doing. So, Joe, what about you on that Saturday?
Listen,
I know you're gonna be coming into the building.
Listen, I'm trying to get there on Wednesday night just to get there early.
Okay.
That networking event, a lot of, again, the energy that's always in the building. And Kia, let me say this real quick. When you said that the vision changed, that implicates growth. You can't have the same vision as a novice as you do as a mature stylist, because there's a lot of things that come into this network. When we're young, we do what young people do, but now we a little older and more mature, we have a different vision. So I'm really excited about what you have to say about those things, because your vision has to change. And that's why I take a moment and teach certain things and then sit back and learn some more, because there's more to be learned. But back to the party. You know how to throw a party. And we come from Detroit. We think we the coolest thing on the planet. But when I say it's time to get jiggy with it, when we come down there in that boy, it's just what it is. And I never get nervous besides teaching the class for you and the introduction and the networking at the pool party. That's how I know that there's a fire that continues to brew at Mpulse Summit, man. I'm in Detroit. How many shows do we do in Detroit all the time? Right. But how many shows do Joe do? None. Joe, can you do the show? No, but I'll be at Mpulse Summit though. Because there's a different vibe. Like Miss Simmons said, there's a different network, there's a different chemistry. There's the vibe, the connection, the spirituality. Pastor Jones, Bishop Jones is amazing. We was passing the collection plate online, the way he prayed for us the last few years. You know what I mean? So that networking event, just to be amongst your peers.
Yes.
And we had a networking event last year, and it turned out to be something where we were talking about what we went through as stylists, because we can be on stage and everybody think we got it together. I've been in a failed marriage. I've had kids that tripped out. I've done all of these things, but then because we're so busy coaching other people's problems, then we get exposed.
Other people's problems.
Okay. And so I'm man enough to say it now. I'm transparent now. When I was trying to be cool and hide it and all of that type of stuff, but we're human. So you have those events outside of hair. You talk about accountability. We talk about finances. You talk about failed relationships and rebuilding another one. If God give you a second chance, about children, about your career, about your business. So you have there's a whole plethora of people. And I apologize for being so excited, but this is what it is for me. Yeah. When I say I'm trying to like be cool and calm right now, but I could be screaming and my dog be acting foolish in a minute.
Right.
But that networking event, you know, when Mike Pringle jumped in the pool last year, I think you jumped in the pool, did you?
I did. I actually got in the pool last year.
I was about to jump in the pool and I said, nah, man, maybe next time. Maybe next time. And then the support of your family.
Yes.
As you said, the food, your mother and father. And then when your family got up there and sung that night of the blue and white party, it was touching for me as a person. Mm-hmm. Because your brother sung a song that my dad used to sing before he passed, and he loved that song. Mm-hmm. Before he got in the pool pit, he would sing that song. Mm. He would sing that song, and then your mother and father and how you pay homage.
Yes.
All of those things. And your sister called in. Oh, I was in tears.
Yeah.
I was in tears, and I'm a tough dude.
Yeah.
I'm a real tough dude.
Yeah, that hurt me. That hurt me.
But it was a great, but here's the thing though, the support of your vision.
Yes.
Your sister wasn't gonna let it pass without her being on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, Lord, you know, you've been so good. You watched over me. My dad used to sing that song from the pulpit the same night he dropped dead. Mm. But I knew he was there in a spirit. And then for your brother to sing it and everybody cooked that food. So it's way more than here. If you don't show up to this or you don't, you're shortchanging your career. And I say on my name. Mm. That's what it is. You know, because that network, it's just so much. It's more than to talk about in a minute or an hour. You know, and so again, I can't say it enough how grateful I am and how humbled I am and how honored I am. You know, this little kid from Detroit, man. This little kid from Detroit.
I'm gonna tell you, Joe. You know, everybody know I'm a crybaby, so I'm sitting here like going over everything that you're saying because sometimes it can be a blur. But just like today, I had an amazing phone call with JB, and you know, she said, "Mitch, you gave out those keys," and she said, "You don't know how those keys have changed my life and how that release has changed my life, and you know, all the things that we're doing." So you're right. It is not about a hair show, right? It's not about a hair show. It's not a hair show. And I always tell people that it's more than that. Yeah, you're going to learn how to cut, color, all of that. But you're really going to learn about getting your faith in order to know that you can fight any battle that is going to be before you, behind you, in front of you, because we all are going to face it eventually. But face it with the foundation of knowing that you are surrounded, as Kia say, in a safe space, good ground. Foundation is built because my family is going to be there. There's no doubt. My dad is 80. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be there. And his support of, you know, making the lemonade. He's like, I got the lemonade, you know, he's ready. And my cousin's 360, East 360, that bring that phenomenal food. And when I tell you, they gave us the list of food, I thought they would stop it. And they kept going. So they was like, okay, this is for VIP. Okay, this is for general. I'm like, dang, you know.
I'm coming just to eat, man.
Yeah, right.
And Jada, you know, we see you. That girl Jada and Thomas, man, let me say something. Them two right there, the world better watch out for them.
Yes.
Jada and Thomas, let me tell you, man. But those your babies.
That's it.
Those your babies, man. And we just had a chance to touch them.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you said it because they are the Barber Zone of Mpulse Summit, and they will be presenting and opening up. So, y'all, just a little shout out to the Barber Zone. That's Jada, that is Thomas, that's Dee the barber, and Frank the barber. When I tell you they're so excited for this all-white event, they're already getting everything together. So the coldest in the game meet the cream of the crop. So again, just come and support them, and you will see a difference in your life because Jada was in the seats and now she's on the stage. So I'm super proud of her. Thomas, again, we called him last minute on the side, and Thomas jumped in. Him and his wife went to the Walmart, got things printed out. They could have had excuses. But we came from no excuses, didn't we, Kia? We had no excuse. I don't care if you stayed up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you got it done. So when people come to me with excuses about why they can't and why I don't even hear it. I can't hear it because I know where we came from and how important it is that we constantly come in and educate ourselves and put your faith in it first. You know, so I definitely want to know that. And then when we say no excuses, let's look at this. Everybody heard of Afterpay, right? Any of us ever used Afterpay before or something? Afterpay, if you want some shoes, if you want a belt, if you want whatever, you use it and then it'll take the payments out. Well, we just want to introduce to you that we have Afterpay. So when I say take it out, come to Mpulse Summit, and you still can make payments after it. So y'all sit back and look at what Afterpay has to offer. If you didn't think about it now.
Life doesn't wait. Why should you?
It could be seen as the modern-day lay-by in an age of convenience. A small Australian company, Afterpay, offers a buy now, pay later scheme, and it's rapidly gaining ground.
Afterpay is a service for customers to allow them to buy life's little luxuries and necessities and spread their payments over time in 4 instalments. Afterpay takes on all of the risk that the customer may not pay us back in the future, etc. So from a retailer's perspective, it's risk-free.
Afterpay also approves customers instantly.
We don't do external credit checks in the traditional sense, but we have a very sophisticated set of systems and rules which looks at the integrity of that particular transaction. It's not a credit product because we don't charge any interest to the customer and we don't lock them into any upfront fees or administration charges.
So far, retailers are enthusiastic about the service, which has proved great for customers who are good at budgeting and understand the risks.
So when I say no excuses, listen, do they have any excuses, Kia?
Not one.
Joe, what about you? You think they got excuses?
There's none at all, man. I was looking at that as it started coming up early. I'm like, look at my homegirl, man. You can get it Afterpay. You can buy skateboards and everything. And
the whole nine. Tuetta, what about you? Is there any excuses? Because we have Afterpay, we have Lead Pay, we got everything for you to come. $199 if you just want to take classes only. Any excuses?
I have taken that cost for one class $199 and up. So you get a whole summit for $199.
Yeah, please. So I definitely know. What you say, Kia?
I said we eat $199.
Say that again. I just went to Houston. Say that again. Okay. Say that. I looked at my credit card today and it said Kiss, and I'm like, what's Kiss? I didn't kiss nobody. Oh, I kissed that food. The restaurant was called Kiss. I'm like, what? Oh, I almost disputed it. Oh, I did eat that. I did eat that right now. Okay. So I'm telling you, for $199, if you just want to take classes only, and that's it. You don't want to come to the cream and green, the blue and white. If you don't want to come to the power breakfast, that's going to be on Sunday. If you are talking about missing Pastor Major Jones and just going through the power breakfast where we feed you, East 360, hey, $199, take your classes. We will not judge you whatsoever. We just want you in the building to learn and to grow. So that's it. Again, with the Barber Zone, you have Frank. You have Frank. Good to know. Right. Hey, everyone. And Joe, good to see you. Afterpay it is. Okay. We want to see you there, Miss Murray. Afterpay it is. Okay. And so understand this. Our Barber Zone that's going to be on Saturday. Frank the Barber, Thomas the Barber, Jada the Barber, D the Barber. Like when I tell you the Barbers are in the building and they are cold-blooded. Matter of fact, D the Barber just won first place in a competition last week. The boy cold-blooded. I think I might grow my hair out until then and get a haircut by Jada or somebody. I might just grow it on out, wolf it out until then. But I'm telling you all, September 10th to the 12th, I want y'all to talk about your class, Kia, what you're going to be bringing to mentoring as well as Tuetta. I know we probably lost Enola. She probably come back on a little bit, but Tuetta, Kia, what's some of the things that you're going to be bringing there and where you're going to be at next? Because we're going to see you in Miami in a couple of weeks, right? And then go from there.
So, pushing towards your path, I just wanted to really share that, like I said, as I evolve as a person, I understand what we're trying to pour into our community of stylists. And one of the things that I really think is important is how to get to the path that you're supposed to be in. And how do you really understand that every part of your life matters? And I think I've said that so much over the past few years. And I started with that notion at Toastmasters. And I was doing Toastmasters, and I got a girlfriend that laughs at me every time because I've been talking all my life, too much, all my life. And I decided to do Toastmasters a few years ago. And they would do this thing where they would give you a question and you had to off the cuff come up with a speech for a couple of minutes off the cuff. And it was the competition. So it would be you and 2 or 3 people, and they'd go, here's the question, you got to go, and you just got to come up with a speech right then. And one of the questions was, what would you have, it wasn't an unusual question, but it was something like, and I can't think exactly what it was, but it was like, what would you have done different, basically, from knowing yourself now versus then, or knowing what you know now? What is one thing you would have done different? Or maybe it was something like, what would you have done different? Something you would have taken back, or something like that. It was reframed, but it wasn't kind of like, what did you tell yourself when you were younger? It wasn't that. It was like, what would I change? And I said, I wish I had been kinder to myself along the way. I would have given myself the grace that I knew God had given me too. I would have forgiven myself earlier for things that I thought were failings. And I would have learned the lesson quicker and got through it quicker, and understood that every part of my journey was going to matter eventually, even if I couldn't see it. And I didn't realize that until I was a grown woman who had gone through so much, that one day I looked up and it felt like God had just, you ever looked at a TV screen, like in a movie theater, and it looks like everything is blurry, and it just looks like a bunch of little pixelated,
right?
It's just like very pixelated, and then all of a sudden it just clears up into this 4 HD, and that's how I feel like God has done my life. Like I feel, and he showed me, and he said, every part matters. Everything that you thought you were sweeping under the rug, or you didn't want people to know, or you didn't understand what was the purpose of it, and he brought it all back. And that, to me, when we talk about pushing towards your path, it's knowing how to build the bridge to get there. And it's really through using all the parts of your life, knowing that they all
matter.
It all matters. Every part of your life matters, and you can't throw away not one single thing. And so I want to share that, because I believe that my life has been divinely orchestrated for this moment. That's the only way I can explain all of the miracles, all of the things that have happened that I couldn't have even thought of myself. I see God in my life every day. It's book worthy. Like sometimes I'm like, I need to write that down. Like nobody will believe that. Nobody will believe that. And so when we talk about pushing towards your path, everybody has one. And, the only thing that's constant is change. And the sooner we get to understanding that, the better off we're going to be.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's what I'll be sharing, along with some other things. But, that's what I want to share.
What about you, Tuetti? I think I'm writing down all these notes right here like I'm in class already. I ain't gonna lie to you.
For the future industry professionals, just kind of on the same note of what we did last year, but just showing them and teaching them this year, that never think that once you come out of school, that is the end. That is just the beginning. A lot of times, some young ladies now, young men come out of school and they have clientele already built, and they think that, that's good. Or you have to have a boatload of clients to be booked and busy to be considered, where it's really, what you give to that customer that's in front of you. You can have 10 amazing clients that come and you can still make thousands of dollars as long as you're taking care of them. So just, not just only the skill is important, but also teaching about the mental, the physical, taking care of the actual body, taking care of actual, things outside of work, not being a workaholic. Because sometimes, the mindset is grind, hustle. I'm from New York, so sometimes, at the beginning of my career, I found myself kind of like in the space of doing that, because you have to get yourself established. But there's so many different ways now that it's so much more accessibility for, individuals now coming out of school. You have social media, you have still, boots on the ground still works. You have word of mouth. And some people are not extroverted. Some people are introverted, and there's still ways for them to still reach and connect to the client that works best for them. They don't have to do what the next person in the salon is doing. They can do their own thing and still be very successful. That's what I want to share with them.
I love it. I love it. And Joe, because you always share, like, I need to talk to you for the next 29 days. I ain't gonna lie. I think I need to talk to you every day for the next 29 days. I mean, for real, till September the 9th.
Call you every day. I promise I'm gonna call you every day. I just agree with Miss Simmons and what Miss Kia are saying, that everything evolves in so many different ways. And you talking about the barbers. I actually had the opportunity. I'm coaching a young man right now, raw talent. My daughter just graduated and my son just graduated from school this year. And this young man walked into the salon and said, I want to work. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, I can cut hair. I had no idea that he graduated with my daughter this year, this really physical year.
Wow.
He said, I can cut hair. And so me, you know how we talk, we're gonna throw you to the wolves. I said, man, cut his hair then right quick. He said, what? I said, cut his hair. This young man cut this dude's hair so amazing and just raw. And so I'm gonna talk to him about bringing him down there because he needs to be around other people, to the point where I've had a barber in my salon who's been in there for 7 years. This young man is bringing the whole high school and they coming in knocking the doors down. Wow. But I keep trying to teach him now because, like I said, we dealt with grind and overworking. No, man, you're going to take a day off. You're going to save your money, financial planning. All of those things are now important. I got another young man, Corey Dwight. He's just this big deal on social media. He does a lot of the celebrities' hair. And I used to bring him in at the salon at 4:00 in the morning, shampooing, and he's out there working in North Carolina with Derrickis, who does fantastic hair.
I love D.
And so he says, man, I wouldn't have been able to make it if you wouldn't have made me get up at 4:00 in the morning and shampoo hair from 4 in the morning till 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And right. So you have to be ready for the grind. But then we started learning the difference in, like you said, you don't need 1,000 clients to make a lot of money. You just need the right client to pay you. And you have to be consistent, and you have to be a professional, and you have to evolve, and you have to continue to grind, but learn. And so that's what I say about it all. And that's where my excitement comes from, because we have to teach the next group of people. Miss Simmons, I'm excited. I'm excited to see you again and see what you're about to do and bring to the world. Miss Kia, knock it out the park. I'm like ready to just come with my pen and pad and my paper, because sometimes we get a little dormant, or we become so consistent it breeds complacement, and that's not what it's about. Tell your client I need an extra 10 to 15 minutes for another $40, $50, $60. They'll pay it for you. We do it all the time. Missy Nola, we ready. You know what I mean? Micheline, listen. I'll say it till I'm 6 feet under. You are an amazing person, and what God has blessed you with, nobody can take it. The support that you have, I'll walk from Detroit to Columbia, South Carolina if I had to. I ain't going to it all. We work too hard for that, but I'm saying that the support factor that you have and the group of people around you, God is blessed and great.
Amazing.
And because He's done it, you don't take it lightly. And because of your humbleness, He's going to make it bigger.
Thank you, Joe. Enola, what about you?
It's breathtaking. I agree with Joe. You one of a kind. You don't see color. You don't see race. I mean, I always share the testimony how you stopped me at an event and, invited me to the summit, and I've never been the same. I've seen myself evolve, and, working with your team, just networking with different people that I never met. Yes, I know that Mpulse Summit every year takes me on another level. So I'm just so grateful, and I thank you. I want to thank you publicly for stepping up and stepping out for our industry, because there's many that's going to reach many goals and dreams because of your yes to this call. So thank you so much, Micheline.
Y'all trying to make me cry now. I'm trying. I'm not proud. That's why I start scratching my scalp. But I'm gonna tell you now, Mpulse Summit is not for everyone. It's for the right ones, and I'm gonna keep saying that. It's for the right ones. And like Joe said, I pray, and we pray every morning. Enola Tuweti every morning, 6:45 every morning for years now. There's no lie.
I need to get on that call. I know about.
I will give you the number. 6:45 every morning, and we pray for Mpulse Summit before, during, and after. We pray for everyone who's going to come, right, Enola? We pray for those who have a desire to come, right, to wedding. We pray for every elite educator. We pray for everything because of the fact that God has taken us on this journey. The journey chose, we didn't choose the journey. The journey chose us. This assignment was placed in me, and I got to keep going no matter what. Like I said, they can try to bury me, but bury me when I'm dead, not when I'm alive, because it ain't gonna happen. Okay, so we're gonna keep going no matter what. And this is something that we all have an assignment for. So this screen is full of passionate, desirable individuals that I'm blessed to be a part of their life. And Kia knows she called me, I'm there. Joe called me, I'm there. Tuweti called me, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Enola called me, I am there. Y'all seen it, no sleep. We drove from Georgetown straight to Atlanta because I had to be there for Tuweti. Got on a flight and went to New York for Kia and, different places because of the fact that if you call me, I'm there for those individuals I know has a passion and desire for people. And that's what this screen is full of. So I definitely want y'all to know, if you don't know about Mpulse Summit, if you've never seen Mpulse Summit, if you want to learn about Mpulse Summit, y'all sit back and enjoy this video here. In September.
Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll see you in Columbia, South Carolina, September 10th through the 12th. Don't forget to check your pulse. Have a good night.